This hat is known as Old Spicy, and Old Spicy doesn't really want to talk too much right now. So we're going to just wear this hat sideways, and I'm going to talk to you about the ethics of eating animals for food. What does ethics mean? I don't know where to go with this huge topic. The short answer is it is highly unethical to kill sentient beings. That means beings who know it's unethical to kill them. Someone wants to know, part two, is it then unethical to eat grain because it's seed for the grain plant to regrow? The answer is I don't know. Is grain seed sentient? If it is, then it's unethical. How do you know if plants are sentient? Unfortunately, someone did research on this in about 1975, and they wrote a book called The Secret Life of Plants. And they found out that sentience does extend to plants. In other words, if you're thinking about eating that head of lettuce, maybe you don't realize it, but that head of lettuce has consciousness. Isn't that quite a pickle? So I guess we're going to have to. Is there a solution? Yes, there's a spiritual solution to everything. Believe it or not. What is the spiritual solution to the fact that, present day human bodies seem to need to eat what we call food? And he just said it's unethical to eat sentient animals and sentient plants. So are the humans supposed to starve? What about their pet dogs and cats? They eat, food. The spiritual solution for this problem is we need more consciousness. I don't understand. The answer is simple. You must become more conscious. How do you do that? Most people are going to have a hard time getting more consciousness because by now they've tuned out to everything I have to say because I'm a lunatic. Which means they're highly unethical and low consciousness, which is what we already know from the work of Dr. David R. Hawkins in his books such as Power versus Force. Hawkins said quite a number of things, but up until 1987, at the time of the harmonic concordance, which was an astrological thing in the sky that a bunch of people said, whoa, when this astrological thing is going to happen, let's all get together in a group and meditate. So was it the astrological concordance that created the change? No, it was humans. And they just marked the event. They could have just picked, I don't know, August the 12th. But instead they said, well, let's just, wouldn't it be cool if we do it at the time of the astrological? So the astrological is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It was just picked by the humans. Let's do a group meditation on this time period. Because this is still happening with humans today. They're watching the astrology like crazy. Supposedly way showers of consciousness. Keep watching the stars and the moon to see what's coming, and the answer is you're an idiot. These constellations aren't even real. Because if you were on a different planet that was circling a different star, the constellations we see on Earth wouldn't exist. They're simply a bunch of stars that you're seeing from planet Earth. And that's the arrangement of them from planet Earth. The constellations themselves are nothing. They are nothing. It is just humans just drawing pictures, drawing lines between the star field, commonly seen stars. They don't mean anything. And, as far as Mercury going retrograde, it don't mean shit. You stupid people, you astrological people, you're so brainwashed. Anyways, Hawkins said in 1987 with group meditations, according to his information, for the first time, human collective consciousness rose above 200 on the scale of human consciousness. 200 was kind of a magic number. Everything under 200 is negative, and 200 on the scale of human consciousness is the start of positivity. Which means, if we can believe Dr. Hawkins, that the reason why human history is full of nothing but horror, endless wars, and burning of witches at the stake, and slavery, and disease, is because humans as a collective had a very low consciousness. And yes, they were slaughtering animals, and in some places they were even slaughtering other humans to eat them as food. So, we have got to raise our consciousness a tremendous amount to get beyond the need to eat plants and animals as food. How does this work? Well, I'm going to go with somehow at higher levels of consciousness, the body looks after itself without food. How does it do that? I don't know. It might be a stretch for me to say maybe it's going to use like chi, subtle energies or something. But that still may not be correct. If you become higher and higher consciousness, are you more of the manifestor of the body? In other words, something manifests bodies. It must be consciousness. And to get a body that doesn't require eating plants and animals for food, someone has got to get at a very high level of consciousness to manifest the kind of body that doesn't need that. And maybe at very high levels of consciousness, you don't need to manifest a body at all. Anyways, the spiritual solution to the problem of eating sentient plants and animals is you and I and everyone else. We only have one path, and that is a spiritual path. The spiritual path is to increase our consciousness. In other words, raise your vibration, let go of your ego, develop inner silence, let go of rigid intellectual opinions, etc., etc. In the meantime, is it better to eat plant-based diet than an animal-based diet? Because animals are more sentient, more conscious than plants? I don't think so. I don't think you can say that. It certainly is a big horror when you slaughter an animal by, slitting its throat and all the blood is pouring out everywhere. And, but you don't sense what it feels like for plant life to be like a lettuce to be sliced from the ground. Or what about the grain? I mean, it's ripe and it was ready to be planted. Does it know that you're going to eat it instead of it being dropped on the ground where it can regerminate? The answer is I'm out of time. I'm out of time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget